In a world where fiction blurs with reality, where the lines between hero and villain are often crossed, lies a darker truth lurking beneath the surface of our favorite stories. Young media practitioners embark on their journey through internships and attachments, eager to learn and grow. Welcome to Predators in Media, where we delve into the unsettling presence of predatory behavior within entertainment industry.
Because, initially before I went to that particular media station, I had been warned. I had a friend who was initially there, so I had been warned of such things that they do happen there. So I had initially been warned, so I knew how, to navigate through such advances. Yes, they were there, but, I had to be smart for my own sake.
74% of women in media have faced physical or verbal sexual harassment, and this is mainly from supervisors and senior colleagues. Only 29% reported. The most common reasons for not reporting is fear of being taken negative
for certain favors, and telling the poor girl, that if she will not give in, then he was not going to take her through that training, and was actually frustrating her attachment during that period. So when she reached out, we swung into action as a department, and we got to the management of that particular firm, and we did not just send an email, but also followed with a call. So we called the media house and informed them what was actually happening. They were shocked. And I want to tell you that they swung into action also immediately, and that person was suspended. And they told us that this person has been suspended and will appear before this disciplinary committee. Apparently, it happened that was not the only student the person had harassed. So we actually announced a lot during that period, that other students now started popping up and say, yeah, that person has also harassed me. So we feel that we did the good thing. We did a good thing as a department because we also saved other students from that predator.
Sophie, which is not her real name, like many young media practitioners, found herself facing uncomfortable situations during her attachment period. The line between professional mentorship and harassment blurred, leaving her feeling vulnerable and disempowered.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Carlson Mugodo. We are doing something on sexual harassment among attachees during the internship process. Were you on attachment, maybe in reason?
Yes, I was in attachment. It was last year. Yes, in western part of Kenya.
Now, have you encountered or seen, or you yourself encountered scenes of sexual harassment on attachees while on attachment?
Well, I can say during my attachment, yes, there were those advances towards me, but I wouldn't term them harassment because, initially before I went to that particular media station, I had been warned. I had a friend who was initially there, so I had been warned of such things that they do happen there. So I had initially been warned, so I knew how, to navigate through such advances. Yes, they were there, but, I had to be smart for my own sake. Yeah.
And did you report anywhere? Or if not, why?
Okay, so in as much as those, I wouldn't call them harassment on my side, but I can say I had a colleague there who underwent that, but there was no platform where we could, report such cases because one, we wanted a good recommendation at the end, so we wouldn't want anything to ruin it. So we just had, in as much as those things were happening there, we had to keep quiet. Yeah.
It's fear, right?
Yes, fear.
Do you feel the school should do something to protect or safeguard their attachees during attachment period?
Yes, as much as the school has the duty, to ensure our safety during attachment, again, it's almost impossible, we are so many students, we are going to different parts of Kenya, so providing that safety for everyone is almost impossible. So I think it's upon an individual. We are all grown up, so it's upon us, wherever part we are going to to get attached and stuff. So it's upon us to be smart, know what to expect, and know how to navigate through such cases in case they happen. And if you're bold enough, you're also free to report. Initially we had actually been warned by our lecturers that in case of such things, we are free to report, but the problem is the fear. So if you're bold enough and such things happen to you, you're free to report them. So even if it means it will end your attachment there, you can always get another place. So your safety comes first. Yeah, so in case of such cases and you're bold enough to come out, you're always free to do that.
And there are third years who are going for attachment, probably on May.
Yes.
What would you advise them concerning sexual harassment and such?
Okay, I will say mostly these sexual harassments, they mostly occur on the females. The rate at which the females are being sexually harassed is higher than the males. So for the females, I think the dressing code is really, really important. So you can't just walk in a media station, like wearing those mini skirts. You have to be very decent. But in as much as, again, you're decent, they're just those people, like it's not even about decency to them. So just be decent, know what to expect, because they're always there. So you just be smart.
The prevalence of sexual harassment among young media practitioners is a stark reality that demands attention. It's not just about individual experiences, but a systemic issue that perpetuates a toxic culture within.
Good morning to you.
My name is Romeo Were.
Okay, I'm Jacinta Museo.
Thank you very much, Jacinta myself. I thank you for accepting my call here. So I'm undergoing a project by the name The Predators of Young Media Practitioners during their internship and attachment period. So I want you to share your experience. How do you understand by the sexual harassment?
Okay, personally, all I can say about sexual harassment is, let's say someone is doing sexual things to you without your consent. Okay, they might touch you without you accepting, like something that you've not just accepted to be done on you. That is sexual. Yeah, that's what I understand about sexual harassment.
Okay, that's nice. So, have you encountered any case, and what action were taken during your attachment period?
Personally, I never underwent anything to do with sexual harassment.
Yes.
Though I had a friend who did.
An observer, okay.
She like it's a she.
Yes.
So there was someone, I would say someone on top in the company that I was doing my attachment in.
Yes.
So the lady was kind of being admired by the boss, and now you see the guy has power and the girl is just an attachee. So unapata is kind of wanting to, like, he's kind of intimidating the girl and wanting to sexually harass her. When he meets her just within the compound, he tries kind of touching her, and I think that's sexual harassment.
Okay. So the girl, you are saying, observe, shied away from reporting the case to you as a staff or any other person. She believed that she could get some help. And to add on that, does the company foster any culture of respect among the staffs who are working under that company, or how were you coping up there in that environment?
Okay, now there is the staff and then there is someone who is higher, the boss, and he ain't on any control by anybody. He just does what he wants to do. So the girl can't go telling everybody I was sexually harassed by the boss. Maybe the attachment will be terminated or anything just bad can happen.
Okay, the boss was using kind of a form of tyranny to control the whole organization. So people are fearing away or shying away from.
Honestly, now assume now you're the one being harassed by the boss. Whom do you take them to?
There are supervisors from your school.
How will the supervisors help me now that the act has already happened?
They can have one-on-one communication or even read the matter to Media Council of Kenya to shield you away from such an incident.
I personally feel like, first of all, our society views some things as like they should be secret, they are sacred. So when you are a grown-up woman having it all and you go reporting that you've been sexually harassed, it kind of feels like you acting childish. I mean, according to the perception of the society. But now, again, unangalia, you just check and see, like, it's a whole process, like a long process, going to report to the supervisor takes action of, I don't know, taking the boss to where you just blend with it and accept, and maybe say your 3 months is going to end anytime and you will be free from sexual harassment.
So, because there are future internees and attackers who might end up in such an organization, so how will you advise them on not encountering themselves in the form of being a prey to such a boss or such a staff?
Honestly, you can't predict that you're gonna be a prey or not.
Yes.
It depends with the environment, and maybe your looks, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
so,
on the organization.
On the organization.
Yeah.
I think they should foster some rules.
Yeah.
Which should be followed by everybody in the organization.
Yeah.
And still, it's an individual task to just be content with what you have. Like, you just respect interns and attaches, because they don't have a say. They are just there. They look desperate being on your company, so you better respect them. Yeah.
So, were there some rules and regulations addressing God and a prey? You must always be you could end up attracting the predator himself or herself. So are there any rules in terms of dressing in the company you worked with, or people are just dressing anyhow?
Okay, rules were there, and I mean, sexual harassment doesn't necessarily come from the way you've dressed.
Yes.
And again, it's okay. It's okay for someone to dress the way they want. Okay. Not in the company,
not
but just professionally. Like, I mean, in the company, there were rules that you should be casual or official. That was the only mode of dressing that was accepted there. Yeah. And I won't say that the friend was undergoing sexual harassment because they were dressed in a provocative way. Honestly, they were decent. So it's only that I don't know.
The boss was just a person who had his own mission. Just
I guess you understand men well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it was Tama Ama. I don't know.
Okay. So I really appreciate on your take and taking your time sharing experience on these matters going around, because we cannot just say it's only in media, but across the country in many fields people are undergoing this. So we advocate for respect, a culture of respect for the bosses to prevent this to happen. So I really appreciate your take on this, and I welcome you next time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And individuals are stepping up to create safe spaces and implement policies to address harassment, with Patience Nyage being an expert in media advocating for women and girls' rights.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, it's Romeo here.
Hi.
Yeah. So, as I had introduced myself earlier, I'm Romeo from Mo University School of Information Science.
Okay.
I'm undergoing my project, Predators of Young Media Practitioners during their internship and attachment period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as per your take, as I always follow in your pages, you are undergoing to advocate for human right on female gender.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how are you aware of these things happen this media organization. Can you share your experience there?
Yes. So ideally, this is what I would like to say in terms of for those who are joining, the profession as young professionals.
Yes.
One of the challenges that they get when they are in the institution, of course, there have been a number of, reports and complaints is about sexual harassment. Most of them are young. They come to the institution. They are very optimistic about what they want to do. but of
Yes.
course they become easy praise when it comes to, they're only there for only 3 months. They are promised stuff that they're willing to get at the end of it. Some of them are promised jobs. Some of them are promised, bylines or articles or, what is it called? Space within the news so that their news items are read. At the end of it all, it becomes all lies. They don't have, any backing in terms of, this person told me this. So most of the time, the newsroom is really male dominated. A number of the people who are at the leadership levels are male. These young people who come in, especially with women, most of the time find themselves that, they can't confide in the males, they take advantage of them, and they don't really know what are the mechanisms for them to report.
So, basing on your program, what are the initiative or training program you put in place to educate both the mentors and the interns? As I have seen you move around there.
Yeah, so most of the things that we're trying to do is to attract young people,
Yes.
and we're trying to recruit people who are within the in campuses.
Yes.
And most of the time what we try and do is to ensure that they get to understand what the industry looks like. We talk to them, we let them understand that these are some of the vices you might encounter if you get to the industry. This is how you report when you find yourself in situations such as sexual harassment, situations of intimidation, harassment, or threats within your office. There are clear lines and guidelines of what it is of how you report. So we try and ensure by the time they're in school, they understand what the industry is all about, and they also understand the mechanisms of reporting.
Okay, on your line, have there been any specific case you can share with and any effective action that was taken? Have you met one of them openly speaking to you, or they share around?
Yeah, most of the time, how sexual harassment is. It's not something that you want to talk about openly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you also want to protect your name, or you want to protect the people that you know. It's just really the burden of evidence that you have.
Yes.
So you've been harassed. So most of these cases, they are almost faceless, as we keep saying. But they're there, they're reported. What we try to encourage people is to be able to report, even if it's anonymously, but at least report so that we can document about them. So based on the research that we do, most of our research is always anonymous. So we have research that we have done.
Yeah.
And we also have research that was done by One IFRA, which is One IFRA Women in News, that was launched in 2022 December, and the same has the same backing. Towards the end of last year, we also did another research courtesy of Thomson Reuters Foundation, and which is going to be launched, I think, in the next 1 week or two, this February, actually.
In your own opinion, what steps can media organizations take to foster a culture of respect that may help to prevent this sexual harassment?
Media houses need to dignify people, need to understand that there is a way that they need to follow protocols when it comes to how do they recruit people, what protocols do they have, sexual harassment policies in place. When people come in the newsrooms, what kind of induction are they taken through? And then for those of us who have registered as, members of associations, for example, the Media Association of Media Women in Kenya, we do constant trainings to ensure that people understand these are the challenges and mechanisms of reporting. In case you need to report, in case you need to you need to explain yourself at any given time. This is how you go. So as we open door policy, we also do trainings, constant trainings throughout the year. That there are many trainings that we do to ensure that people get to understand. And as we do that, we're also bringing policy makers in newsrooms, in the industry, to have this as a conversation, to ensure that as people come into the newsroom, they know exactly what they expect. At the same time, they know the mechanisms through which they can report such cases.
Have you ever observed any specific challenge or pattern in your any challenges you encounter? Because this is a very critical and sensitive issue that if you move around telling people.
Yes, as you have said, for you to be able to report, for example, a sexual harassment case, you need to have evidence.
Yeah.
You need to have a witness. Most of the time, nobody wants to, come forward and say, oh, Romeo sexual harassed me on this day and blah, blah, and there was a witness. You rarely find witnesses. And people want to also to protect, their jobs, victimization. People fear victimization. What happens when I report? How is it going to be like? So a lot of the time, people really are not able to to be able to express themselves. That's really one of the biggest challenges. And also reporting this case, people want to report anonymously. So when you report anonymously, most of the time, then it's very hard for you to prosecute such kind of matters.
So can media organization ensure that reporting mechanisms for sexual harassment are accessible and effective for young media practitioners and students, or they also, when they encounter such a case, they always hide it, or they deal it?
Well, what we try and encourage is to encourage arbitration, to have conversations internally before you can proceed with conversations outside, the legal mechanisms. So as it is now, we really are encouraging people to be able to promote civility within the newsrooms.
I really appreciate for your concern and your take on this. Yeah, it will really help me on my project, and I will also share my link to you and see how I have taken my own opinion and other people have shared their opinion, so that we may prevent this sexual harassment and assault to the future of journalism.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking your time to interview me.
Okay, I also appreciate. Thank you very much. Next time.
Asante. Asante.
Sexual harassment has been a big challenge for women in media and has been a key factor that leads to more and more women leaving the newsroom. Without solid and practical and effective gender-responsive initiatives, women are a disadvantaged gender. They continue to suffer in silence, leading to low performance with time. They blow out of the media or become completely incompetent due to fear.
Mr. Msakali Joseph, the attachment coordinator, admits that contrary to the popular opinion of sexual harassment being rampant among female attachees, there are also numerous cases of sexual harassment on young male media practitioners.
So, good afternoon. My name is Carlson Mugodo, and today we are the attachment coordinator, School of Information Sciences. So, good afternoon, Mr. Msakali.
Good afternoon, Carlson. How are you?
I'm fine.
Happy Valentine.
Happy Valentine's to you. Maybe can you introduce yourself? Maybe people
Yes,
don't know.
I'm Sakali Juma.
Yes.
A lecturer in the School of Information Sciences, Department of Publishing, Journalism and Communication Studies.
Yeah.
I'm also the attachment coordinator in the department.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Mr. Msakali, on attachment, we are tackling an issue on sexual harassment among young media practitioners. Yeah. So, maybe how are you preparing your students for attachment so that they are equipped to deal with such predators in media?
First, of course, we have to, accept the fact that we have predators out there. And what we do as a school, what we do as a department, is to prepare our students for such cases, and we do this by first and foremost taking them through some sort of a briefing. We usually set a day aside on campus for the class that is just about to go for attachment. And we have a sit down with them. We take them through the do's and don'ts in as far as attachment is concerned. And usually we focus mainly on that issue of sexual harassment. And we take the students through what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. For instance, I'll just tell you that some forms of sexual harassment are actually instigated by the students themselves. So we usually encourage our students to dress decently, both men and women.
Okay.
Both girls and boys. We usually encourage them. We usually brief them on what to dress. How to dress, especially in the attachment environment.
Okay.
And in summary, just dress decently, so that you don't expose yourself to these characters
Yes.
in those attachment farms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then apart from that, of course,
Yeah.
generally we take them through, we've come across cases where, like staff in the attachment farms,
Yeah.
would occasionally offer, lunch, offer snacks, or offer tea or coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
So we usually tell you, of course, they're adults and they can accept or not. But of course, you can easily tell if somebody is up to something.
Yeah.
And we usually tell our students that if you know or if you suspect that this person is indeed up to something,
Yeah.
then you should decline such offers. Then we've had cases also whereby you get to an attachment place like a media house, and because journalists are always moving outside on assignment and all that, and sometimes they can request you. You are there, you are an intern, and they tell you, hey, we're going for a shoot, come with us. So those are also bits in which students can actually find themselves trapped, because you go for a shoot and the next thing is something else. So you have to be very careful unless you are assigned. You're not idling there. So don't leave your desk to go on a trip that you're not assigned to go to. So such like things and so many other things that we talk about during that preparation.
My name is Evans Okwero, doing a project over sexual harassment among young media practitioners during the attachment and internship period. Most people are used to female being sexually harassed during their internship or attachment period. But right now, we have a different case. We have a male victim who is going to share his experience. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How do you understand by the term sexual harassment?
Sexual harassment is a way in which a male or a female is being taken into sexual commitment without his or her consent.
Last year you were on attachment.
Yes.
Could you share your experience?
Okay, I went to a certain private organization, a private media house in Western region, where I was given a docket of production. It was really awesome, despite the fact that we had limited equipment. But I really enjoyed the process.
And maybe relating to our project, were you sexually harassed by maybe the female staff during the attachment?
It was not really staff, but it was colleagues. One of the colleagues indulged me in such activity in that she promised me a lot of things, of which I could say I didn't just give in, but she forcefully made me to indulge in such activities. Yeah.
And maybe what was your reaction on that? Did you take it positively or negatively?
At first I thought it was positive because, men, we are used to saying that we don't need to be compromised. And then when I saw such a situation, I felt like it was a favor to me, it would really help me. But again, to some extent, it affected me negatively.
And maybe we are used to during attachment, you are going to acquire some new skills and knowledge. And now maybe if you are being sexually maybe harassed, what's your take? Like how was it affecting your work?
Generally, it negatively affected my work. In this case, when I came to work, sometimes when I was assigned an activity maybe to work on, she could come and stay and she needed my attention. And if I refused to give her the attention, she told me she would do something that would really adversely affect my work. So it adversely affected my work in terms of work dissemination. Sometimes I produced work late because most of the time I used to spend with her.
And maybe did you take any report to any organization or any?
It was quite hard. First of all, when the boss was informed about our closeness with her, he reacted negatively towards me in that I was hated. He hated me. Before we used to work with him, but then after he was informed about our situation, he decided to leave me behind when going to the field. So I had nobody to report to. I had just to suffer it from myself.
And what measures do you think the media houses or maybe the school department should put in place to end this sexual harassment?
I think from my point that the department should be visiting students occasionally, not just once in times of assessment. Just come, even just have a program, maybe visit the students monthly or weekly to just see how they are faring on, because some of us, while we were there, we could not even communicate to our lecturers. Sometimes they were busy, sometimes you could call them, they would not answer. So I think it is the best time for them to organize a program whereby they will be visiting the students occasionally, weekly, or even monthly. It can be better, just to see how they are faring on and see the well-being of their students.
And now, maybe from your experience or during your attachment period, what do you think will lead to any male or female being sexually harassed? Like which factors?
Okay, according to me, it's just the way you carry yourself, and then respecting yourself is very important. Coming to a situation where a female is harassing you sexually, she must have seen a weakness in you. So the way you carry yourself before people will talk much about you. For my case, I went there when I was so vulnerable, and I think that is what affected me most, because I showed people I needed help. And so the way I showed them I needed help, some of them wanted to use me the way I was. So one of the things I would like to advise the attachees or those who are going for attachment, carry yourself in a way that will not make you look vulnerable before people. And then another thing is that you have to respect yourself. Whenever you meet such situation, just have and respect your conscience much and much. It will really help you.
Thank you for sharing your experience.
Welcome.
If you want to compromise your dignity just because you're going to lose that opportunity, in fact, as a matter of fact, now let me tell you what happened there. In another scenario again, in another attachment place, we also had a similar case, and it was also a lady who was involved. By the way, we've also had cases where gentlemen or male students are also harassed. But let me explain this one first. What happened? This student was harassed, and despite our, we reached out to the administration of that particular farm, and apparently they were siding with their worker. I mean, they were saying, "Oh no, probably this student is, just making the up stories and all that." And when we realized, because we asked the student, "Hey, how is it going?" And the student told us she's still being harassed. So what we did, we withdrew the student. Yeah, we withdrew the student from the farm. We said, no. If that is still going, we're going to withdraw you. So those are some of the steps that we usually take. Yeah. If we realize that it's still, we've done what we can and it's still happening, we withdraw the student and find some other place for the student to go for attachment.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Faith Chipto. I'm dealing on project. We are working on a project on sexual harassment and assault among young media practitioners or interns and attachees. Have you been to your attachment?
Yes, I did my attachment on a period of 3 months from May last year.
Okay. What were the experience?
Okay, I can say my experience was nice and good. And as you know, each and every situation has advantages and disadvantages. Yeah. So I can say that during my attachment period, I had like several advantages and also disadvantages.
Okay, what were the advantages and disadvantages?
Okay, the advantages is that as a student, still pursuing media studies, majoring on news anchoring. I got the chance to at least go live on air several times and also learn how to produce news and also editing part.
Oh, that's great.
And talking of the disadvantages part,
yes,
is that as also there's this thing called assigning of gender roles. Like such women, not all men, I can say women, we are assigned different roles from what the ladies are assigned. On fun, like such you can be told you go unaenda field unatafuta news. The lady mwenye ako studio is the one to come and edit the news. No. So like you've been given a burden. I cannot say it's a burden because unatafuta kazi.
Yeah, I understand.
But at least to some point, at least the media should at least assign roles to equally to these genders.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were experiencing gender inequality?
Yeah.
Okay, during attachment, did you encounter any sexual harassment or did you observe any sexual harassment?
Okay, I can say that me personally, tunasema mwanaume na kujiamini, si ndio? Na if you see a very fine lady, you are tempted to like say hi. Yeah. So, and vice versa. I can say that even ladies, when they see a fine man, and they are tempted to say hi. So I'm talking about this lady part.
Okay.
So there was this kind of lady who came said hi to me, and being a very normal man, I said hi to him, and looking from expression and body language, I saw you can judge and you can see that penye mtu anaelekea ni mahali fulani. So mimi that time I was a third year student, 3.2. No.
Yeah.
So you are still a student, and this lady friend of yours, anafanya kazi. So like you cannot get into what she is intending. And so like you are forced to say maybe you are forced to make decisions that are not up to you.
Okay, when you say this lady, okay, this lady, was she your age mate?
I don't know. No, totally no. Because she's like almost 10 years above. So I cannot find myself dating a woman like 10 years old. No. That's a child labor.
Okay. Did you report the incidents?
Yes,
or were there platforms to report?
Okay, I reported it. You must act kindly. Like you must do your investigations thoroughly. So I reported it to the respective person, and I reported it, and they told me that what I should be looking.
Okay. So according to you, do you think that there should be some platforms where such cases will be reported?
Yes, I think that the institutions whereby the students come from, they should have at least one platform whereby the students share their grievances when they are in attachment or internship. So like that, and the people manning the same institutions must be at least like sasa wakuwe vigilant, wafuatilia. Because mimi, to my case, they told me watafuatilia, and they named it like there was no action taken.
Okay.
Mpaka saizi, I'm promised that wanafuatilia. No. Yeah.
Okay. There are third years whom they are going for their attachment. I think May. What's your advice?
My advice to them is that they stick to their lane. That's all.
They stick to
their lane. Because okay, kama ni attachment and attachment, acha na mambo zingine za dunia. Because ukiingia na mambo zingine za dunia, okay, like assuming mimi sasa ningeingia kwa hiyo box, hiyo kijisanduku ningeingia, ningepata recommend the boss wa company angegundua obvious the recommendation that I could get was very bad. So at least stick to your lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay.
If we realize that all our efforts are hitting the ceiling, we usually instead of subjecting our students to torture and stress and all that trauma, we usually just withdraw the student, advise the student to withdraw and focus, go out of our way to try and find some other place. But there was an extreme case whereby we went ahead and reached out to other authorities that deal with such cases in the government circles. Okay. Yeah, so we can also do that. And the good thing is that quite a number of media houses or quite a number of firms that we usually take our students to, either media, PR, communication, and all that. These days, quite a number of them have what we call the sexual harassment policy. Yeah, so we usually just refer them to that. Yeah, so and we find them, quite a number of them are, we've had a few that even write letters to us and apologize on behalf of their staff and say, please, we are sorry, but we have taken action and this will not happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. Musakali, we also have in the media industry, we have organizations that govern the media houses. For example, the Communications Authority, we have the Media Council of Kenya. Do you think these organizations are working to enhance the safety of students during the industrial attachment in relation to sexual harassment?
They do. And I'll give you an example of the Media Council of Kenya. Now, the reason why we always ask our students to sign up to be accredited by the Media Council of Kenya is those are some of the reasons. One of the reasons why we do that, because once you have signed up or you have registered yourself as a member of the Media Council of Kenya, you're protected by the council against such cases and any other cases of harassment. There's even a hotline that you as a student, you as a member, as a press card holder, you can actually call and report such a matter. And you report not even as a student, but you report as a member of the Media Council of Kenya.
Yeah.
So that's why we always encourage our students that make sure that you sign up so that you register as a member. That way, the moment you register and you have you have such a problem, you just get in touch with the Media Council of Kenya. Say, I'm number so and so, I'm a member number so and so, I'm an accredited member of the Media Council, and I'm facing an issue here. And they usually take action immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is one of another platform that students can explore. So that's why I always encourage that our students become members of such organizations. Professional bodies really come in handy when you have such issues.
And maybe to conclude, we have third years, they are heading on the attachment, maybe probably on May. So what would you have advised these students concerning this issue of sexual harassment?
Well, of course, they always say in the media that no story is worth your life. Okay? So, and here life is not, we're not just talking about endangering yourself with maybe death or something like that. But when we say take care of your life, it means even that. Because anything can happen if you give yourself into such demands. So, don't expose yourself, even if they are promising you heaven, and you realize that you're walking into danger. It's important that you say no. You rather, forfeit whatever you're promised, but keep your dignity and keep your, because you can be used and done, isn't it? Yeah. So it's important that the students take care of themselves and take care of their profession, because the moment you start giving in as a student, by the time you become staff in one of the communication firms or organizations or a media house,
Yes.
you'll, everybody will be talking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So protect yourself, protect your dignity. And like I mentioned, even the male students have been victims.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a case where a male student was claiming that a senior manager in a firm was harassing him. Yeah. So, of course, what we did, we also had to swing into action and talk to the management of that media house, and of course, action was taken. And that person actually received a warning. Yeah. So, take care of yourself. It starts with you. So, I think the most important thing is because, we can do as much as an institution. We can do as much as a department.
Yes.
But if you say, this department is interfering with my life, it depends on you. You're another adult. So if you give in, of course, we know there are cases whereby students have been even in relationships with people out there on attachment, and we don't even know about that.
Yeah.
But they have chosen to do that. That one, there's nothing we can do. But those who come out and say, I feel this is not right, we usually assist. So it starts with you, then you come to us, we shall always assist you. Yeah.
So how do you encourage them to report these cases?
Like I've said, the channel is there are multiple. Like I've said, if they belong to Media Council of Kenya,
they can
choose to do that. Others who are comfortable, sometimes also it means, it depends on where you're comfortable, where you're most comfortable, yeah?
Yes.
If you feel that as a department we can assist, then you can get in touch with us through the attachment coordinator, who will then get in touch with the chair of department and the dean, then we swing into action, and we usually do. We've had other cases whereby they don't get in touch with us, but they go straight to the counseling department in the dean of students' office.
Yeah.
We see a very high number of young graduate journalists, and a very high number of reporters and correspondents. But surprisingly, sadly, a very low number of them up there.
We appeal for a level playing ground that promotes equal participation of both men and women, and in a violence-free environment.
Education and awareness are crucial in empowering young practitioners to recognize, report, and combat harassment in all its forms. Together, we can break the silence and pave the way for a media industry where talent thrives uninhibited by the shadows of harassment. As the curtains draw on this narrative, let us not forget the journey we have embarked upon. Through the lens of experience and reflection, we have uncovered the shadows that loom over the corridors of attachment and internship periods for young media practitioners. The specter of sexual harassment, once shrouded in silence, now stands illuminated by our collective voice and resolve. Yours truly, Evans Opwero.